Hi everyone, blessed be. I wanted to show you a wreath I made to decorate my altar for Mabon. Obviously Mabon is on the 21st of September and it is the celebration of the autumnal equinox, which is my absolute favourite season. And Mabon and Samhain are my two favourite Sabbats, so I wanted to make sure I made some things especially for the Sabbath. So what I've got here is a wreath base. You'll recognise this because I've used this for lots of wreath bases in the past, like my Halloween one and stuff. I just removed the old stuff that I used, and here I've got some of these fabric maple leaves. One of these I bought them last year or the year before, and I think there was like a couple of hundred in the bag or something. They've lasted me absolutely years. So obviously here what I'm doing is separating out each leaf. I wanted to do the colours, mainly this autumn red and the orangey colours, to fit in with it being autumn soon and to fit in with Mabon. So I've just got to separate them all out because when they come in a packet, they're obviously like die cut from, and like several sheets of fabric are stacked together, so they're all pretty much stuck together when you first get them. So you do have to sit there for a minute or two, just separating them out. And then what I'm doing is using my glue gun just to glue the leaves all the way around the wreath. Now what I'm doing here is, first of all, I do north, south, east and west on the wreath, just because it helps me to space the leaves out a bit more evenly, so you don't get it where there's like a big clump of leaves at the top and then it's very sparse at the bottom, or one of the sides ends up sparse. It just helps me to space everything out better. And as you can see, what I do then is just put a leaf in between each one, and pretty much the wreath base is starting to get covered. Now I wanted this to be very full, so I did 2 layers. So basically what I'm doing now is anywhere where there's a gap where I can see the wreath base, I'm sticking a leaf. So the leaves are going, they've been stuck in a circle on like the upper surface of the wreath base. Now I'm sticking it on the sort of inside edge. And then what I do later on is stick them on the back as well, and it just makes it look nice and full and nice and thickly covered in leaves. I like the colour of these leaves. This is why I like to use them for like autumn projects, because obviously, you know, real leaves are going to break down and these ones will last the whole season and they look nice, and I haven't got to like bake them in the oven or boil them or anything to get rid of bugs and things, so I do like using these. What I tend to do sometimes as well for my altar though is I will collect some foraged leaves, like interesting shapes or big leaves that have got lovely beautiful colours on. I will bring some of those back home and place them on my altar as a bit of an offering, and I just think it looks nice. I love autumn leaves and how they're all nice and got the wide variety of colours, but also the, you know, how they crunch under your feet. And I used to always love it when there was like big piles of leaves when I was a kid, and we'd go running through them and just stamp and hear the crunching. And yeah, autumn leaves always bring back a lot of happy memories for me. As you can see, these leaves, I'm sticking them upside down because these are on the back of the wreath, and obviously I want the like vein detail in the fabric to show on the front. And again, I'm doing the same thing where I just place spread them out a bit and place them so they go all the way around, and this is just going to make it look like the wreath is nice and full and covered in lots of leaves. And it's only a little blob of hot glue here and there, and like I've said before, the advantage of the hot glue, if you don't use too much of it, is obviously you can remove the decorations and reuse the wreath base, which is what I've done here. And it holds everything in place until you remove it, which is what I like as well. And I've used hot glue to make all the wreaths I've made so far in my tutorials. it beats having to like put wire in stuff and wire everything to the wreath, which just takes forever. If you find any leaves pop up, just pop a little bit of extra glue to stick them down. Just be careful not to burn your fingers, because at this stage the glue gun starts to get really hot. So sometimes you'll see I use the foot of the heat gun to press the leaves down. That's so I don't burn my fingers, because the hot glue does come through these leaves, so just be warned of that. Just be careful when you're pressing your leaves into place so you don't burn your fingers. I then here and there place the yellow leaves in a ring around the wreath as well, to get those nice yellowy orange colours in with the red. And then I've got these little fake mushrooms, little toadstools, and I liked how these went with the leaves, and I wanted to add just a touch of something. And for me, like, I always think of autumn, it's like, you know, there's lots of leaves on the ground, there's lots of toadstools and mushrooms and things breaking down those leaves. So I wanted to add these as well, just to add a little bit to the wreath. I wanted to keep it fairly simple, so just these little decorations were all I added on top of the leaf. But I did add something else in the middle, which you'll see in a little bit. And all I'm doing is just finding a leaf that's well glued down and sticking the little toadstool in there with a bit of hot glue. These are only basically little polystyrene toadstools with a bit of paint and some sort of varnish or something, or resin over the top. And they were just cheap from the craft store. There weren't a lot. You tend to find these, if you're looking for these little toadstools, in the like flower arranging section. It's quite common, people use these in little plant pots and things, just to add a little bit of a decoration to their arrangements. And here I'm just adding a bit more glue to the leaf. I've stuck the mushroom on because it wasn't quite holding it upright. And as you can see, I was getting in a bit of a mess. Try not to stick everything to your fingers. And then obviously once I sorted my fingers out and my glue gun, I carried on sticking the little toadstools around the wreath. I wanted them to just be, I mean, obviously I only had a few anyway, but I just put them so there's like, they're fairly separated out. There's more at the top than the bottom, but that's because I run out of the toadstools towards the end. And then once I finished sticking the little toadstools in place, I then took some orange ribbon and stuck that on the back in a pentagram shape, and this is what the little autumn Mabon leaf wreath looked like. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Blessed be, and bye for now.